Hey guys, this is Erica and this is my tutorial on how to Travis pick. So I'm going to give you some basic theory on Travis picking and sort of like what it's all about. It's a picking pattern, but the theory behind it is that it's based off two different repeating bass notes that you play all throughout the pattern, and you pluck those with your thumb. So in the G major chord shape, I'm going to pluck the low E and D strings in the recurring pattern of E, D, E, D. So this is what it sounds like. The notes that you pick in the bass line change depending on the chord shape. So in C, you wouldn't use the low E string because that's not included in the chord shape. You'd use the next string up, so that's the A string. So you're using A, D, A, D. So A, D, A, D, just like that. And it's important to understand how you choose these bass notes because it changes depending on which chord you're playing, and it kind of just gives you like a good place to start when you're starting to think about applying Travis picking to different songs. I don't know, I just think it's fun to know the theory behind it. Right from the get-go, it's important to be consistent with your Travis picking and to make sure that your bass note plucking is even and regular in rhythm, because these bass line notes are actually literally the bass line upon which you build the rest of your Travis picking. But the secret here is to just go slow and practice. Before we start learning the rest of the Travis picking, I just want to go over like what notes you're going to be picking with each finger and what each finger kind of does and where they go. So your thumb is picking that bass line that I just showed you. Your pointer and middle finger are the other two fingers that are going to be picking. And then I don't know if this is the actual like correct way that you should play, but I use my ring and pinky fingers to ground my hand on my guitar when I'm playing, and I find that this just gives me a good grounding. It's easier than having your hand just float over the strings, and it kind of just gives you a grounding. So I usually ground like here on the body or like here on the high E string, and it just like gives you a place to go. I don't know, like gives you a place to rest. So I'm going to start breaking the pattern of Travis picking into two different parts. I find that it's easier to learn it this way, and it's easier to memorize it this way, and then when you learn the two parts, you can then just like merge them, and it makes everything just easier. I don't know. So I'm going to show you both parts in the G chord shape. So this chord shape right here, G major. The first half of the Travis picking pattern begins with plucking the low E string with your thumb and the B string with your middle finger, like this, at the same time. So, and then you pluck the D string with your thumb and the G string with your pointer finger. So it's really slowed. Low E and B at the same time, D with your thumb, and then G with your pointer finger. And then the second half consists of 3 more plucks, just 3, plucking the low E string with your thumb again, the B string with your middle finger separately, and then the D string with your thumb. So E, B, D, just like that. For both parts, I just suggest practicing them both a little bit separately and just coming to memorize them and make it a little bit more natural and smooth. And then the trick is to put both halves together smoothly without pauses in between. This is the first half, the second half, like that. First half, second half, first half, second half. And then this is that recurring bass line that I showed you at the very beginning. And then you can just sort of hear how the rest is added on top. So now I'm going to show you what it looks like in the C chord shape. So the pattern is altered only in that, as I mentioned earlier, the low E string isn't included in the chord shape. So you're using the A string instead. Everything else stays the same. So you're using these 2 strings for the bass line. A, D, A, D. So for the first half of the pattern, you're going to pluck the A and the B string at the same time. And then the D string and the G string. So that's the first half. in C. And then the second half, you're just gonna do those 3 more plucks. So you're doing the A string and the B string and then the D, just like that. So second half. This is both of those halves put together in the C chord shape. First half, second half. And then sped up. And then just the bass line. And that's Travis picking. A few tips I have for beginners. The first is to slow down. Seriously. Do everything at like half speed. Go like half as fast as you want to go or you think you should go. Like go really slow and then go like half as slow as that. Go really, really slow. Because that's how you really cement the pattern in your head. It's how you start making everything really even and consistent. And it's just good to build upon a really solid base of making everything consistent and rhythmic and on the beat, if you know what I mean. So the second tip I have is to make an effort to keep your picking consistent and rhythmic, like I said earlier, because this consistency is what gives your finger picking grounding and cohesiveness. And it's what, once you get comfortable, it might take a while, but once you get comfortable with Travis picking, the consistency and the regular rhythm is what allows you to apply the picking pattern to all sorts of different songs, and it makes it easier to sing on top of it if that's your end goal. And then my third tip is, as with everything with guitar playing, you must practice. Seriously, practice makes perfect, and this type of picking eventually does become second nature, but it might take a while. Like, I've been playing this way for like 7 years, a while, and it took me a good few weeks or months to really cement it in my head, and even longer after that to be able to pick different songs and apply the Travis picking to it. Take a look in the description box below. I've done a few timestamps of different important parts of the tutorial that you might want to take a look at. Also, if you'd like to see a song where this exact picking pattern with those exact chords are used, you can take a look at my cover of Heaven by Bryan Adams. I did it a few weeks ago. And it's just a really good example of taking a song that isn't normally picked like that and adding this Travis picking, and it kind of shows you how it adds a little bit to the song, especially when you're just playing it solo. So that's my Travis picking tutorial. If you liked it, be sure to give it a thumbs up and go ahead and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. I have a few more guitar tutorials planned. I want to do one on percussion and adding different percussive techniques to your guitar playing, because like I've learned different ways of like hitting your guitar and like doing different muting kind of techniques. I don't know. It took me a while to learn them, and so I don't know. I just thought it would be a good video to do, and I thought it would be helpful for people. So again, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.